We are back. I took a few days off. My mother-in-law died, so we're dealing with that, and we're getting through it. So, um, bad news for you guys is we're back on the wings and working on those. So, and then I might do some work on the landing feet, the landing forks. So, here's what we got. We got this plate in here that we did last time, and then we did some filling here. We just need to clean some of this up. I did some off camera. Just want to knock down the high spots here because we're going to add some more filler to this. This off here like so. My son will be bringing me some coffee in a minute. So that gets me going. Tell you what, me and my son play games every morning. We've been playing this 7 Days to Die. Man, that game is fun. Wow. Just want to save this here. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to get this with a little bit of our 220, but this time I'm going to use some Windex. So I'm going to use a little bit of Windex here. This works great for this. I don't know the science behind it, but it's got to be good science because it works. I do it with resin. Oh, thank you, buddy. Alright, you can go play games. So, summer started, so a little bit less to deal with school-wise for him. So, hopefully we can make some headway on this project here. So, taking the last 2 days off really put me behind. I didn't get anything done, didn't even come out to the bench. Did mess with the camera some more to see if I like some different position, and I don't. Now, I normally don't do this, but I'm going to try something new here. As you've seen in the previous videos, and a lot of my videos, even a lot of the older content, I use that styrene plastic filler I filled stuff with. This is just white styrene mixed with glue, and I let it dissolve, and then it becomes a plastic filler, and you can glue to it. It's great. It's just like styrene, but I'm going to use some actual plastic filler this time. I'm going to try this plastic putty from Vallejo, see how this works. Does it say what's in it? White acrylic putty. Water-based marble dust. Dries to hard surface but can be painted, cut, or sculpted. Fill in seams or create or build up correct details. So it's water-based marble dust. I don't know. I don't know if this is better than what I've been using, but we're going to give it a try here. Especially this early on a project. I really don't like to use use this stuff, but we're going to give it a go. Okay, this one's not open. Do I have an open one? Yeah, I do. Okay. Well, I thought I did. Alright. Let's see here. You know, we're probably not even going to use this because it won't come out of the tube. It's got some goo in there. Alright, that's how you do it. Stick an old airbrush needle in there and clean it out. Remember, the link to my Discord is in the description below. Join up, comment. You know, I put updates on there. Not as much as I like to. There's not a lot of members to the Discord, but as I get more and more members, some more and more stuff I'm going to offer on the Discord. So, alright. So, let's see here. Oh. The reason why I want to use this is the following. I should be able to come in here with a piece of damp cloth here and wipe that filler. That fills my hole. I didn't get filled all the way. Because with the plastic styrene stuff, it just keeps getting pulled out. What if I work it with my finger a little bit? There we go. Alright, that may need a couple coats of that. So, we'll give it a try. If I don't like it, I will come back in with, it's already not filling that hole right there, but maybe it needs a couple coats of it. So, get that on here, and then this side here, I think I want to fill with the I want to show new things, but sometimes new things aren't that good. So, let's try this. Let's get some masking here. Let's put this masking right along that edge. Oh, this is not going to stick, is it? It's super light masking tape for painting and stuff, but I don't think it's going to stick enough to help me here. Okay, that might actually work. Listen, I got this tape because I needed masking, and the Tamiya stuff is ridiculous in price. But the Tamiya stuff is worth it. 100% worth it. In my opinion, anyways. Let's see here. Like, I know this stuff works, and it does a good job because I've used it in the past. Used multiple different fillers in the past. But this early stage, when I got to glue a bunch more stuff to it, and bits and bobs and things, I don't know if I want a plastic filler that I can't glue into. Alright, well that definitely filled it. So let's peel this tape off here. And we'll let that one sit. And we'll see how that turns out. Might need a little bit more filling. The problem is, now when I go to fill it again, I can't use my styrene. I don't think anyways. So we'll let that one sit up here in the drying area. And we'll let that cure, and we'll take a look at this one. Now this one I filled with the plastic stuff. So I'm going to probably continue to do that with this one. So let's get this one cleaned up and see how much progress we can make on this before I'm interrupted. Alright. So that was the plastic putty. We're going to see the results of that when it dries. It ruined my cloth, my hands, and my apron. Fantastic. Okay. Well, that's what it is, I guess. So let's come in here. Let's get this cleaned up here. This is going to have to be raised, I believe. I'll take a look at that in a second if I remember. Alright. Remember, I'm not worried about getting any of the detail off here. Alright. This was a good fit. Compared to the other one, this was a really good fit. Sometimes you get kits. Some fits are great, some fits are not great, you know? It is what it is. Notice that my audio is kind of low. And I talk low. I'm not a yeller or a loud talker, so I mumble on. I realize that, and I apologize. But yeah, I need something with a little bit more beef. Let's try this 220 here. Probably need this guy again. Need a little bit of my Windex, and that is a diluted Windex too, by the way. With filtered water. I use distilled water. I just use Brita filtered water that I cook with, like make bread with and stuff. Because you want that, you don't want any chlorinated water in there. Alright. So I don't like the way that's cleaning up. Unless there's just some low spots in it that I'm not. That feels high right there. Try this guy. Oh, that guy's not going to go in there. Can get something. I don't want something that'll conform to the surface there, but also be rigid enough to take off the high spots. Sometimes finding the appropriate sanding tool is very difficult. Okay, now we're getting it cleaned up here. Remember, panel lines and anything like that we're not worried about. And if this was an aircraft, I wouldn't be worried about them either because I can rescribe those in. It's a painstaking task, but it can be done. And to close up all your seams, it is worth the effort to do that. I think it's going to be time for new sandpaper pieces. Alright, so that's all cleaned up, that looks good. This all just needs to be lightly filled. Probably do that with the surface filler, so I'm probably going to do that. So we get to use another filler in this video, so let me clean this up. I'm going to use another one of these. Oh, actually, I'm going to use something different here. I'm going to use a Chem wipe here, and then a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, 90%, and I'm going to clean this off real good. Clean this area that I'm going to hit with this paint real good. Get off any dust, sanding stuff. That Windex I got on there. Even though I dilute paint with Windex, so you know, it is what it is. Alright, so let's see here. I really need another one of these towels. Alright, so we got that dried off. Let's get out our... Oh, that was about to fall. Oh, would have been a surprise. Alright, so we got our little bit of surface primers. What do we got here? We got some dissolved putty. This stuff's really good. We got some 1000, and then we got some 500. I'm going to attempt to use the 1000. Sure, that's what we're going to use. So you can also, what works really well is you take this Tamiya putty and you mix it with a little bit of the solvent, and you get a nice slurry that you can paint on there. So this needs to be shaken really, really good. So while we're shaking this paint, our filler, be sure to like, subscribe, visit the description below for Proxxon's website. Fantastic company, make fantastic little tools. I haven't used them in a couple of days, and I'm having withdrawals, I think. I enjoyed working on them. I'm in the process. I was going to go yesterday to get to do some grinding on one of my tools for the lathe that's back here. to make the boring bar a little bit smaller. I'll give you an idea what I'm talking about. This is the boring bar that we have currently, and it's the diameter's too big and it's too thick. So if you look at this here, so this is from cutter to base is, you know, roughly 6.5 millimeters, and then the actual cutter width is 5.70. So it's thicker than it is wider, so you have to already have a pretty big starting hole. You have to have a starting hole that's at least, you know, 6 millimeters in order to even fit this tool in there. And that was my problem, because the hole is big enough for the width, but it's not big enough for the thickness. So and then when you take out material, it's not going to take out enough. Basically, it's going to rub on the bottom unless you really mess with the tool offsets and stuff. So I paused on that. I'm just gonna grind some of that off at my old job. Actually, better have someone do it for me, because that grinder is a mess. You just have to constantly hone the stones on that grinder. Spend like 3 hours getting it perfectly square. Grind one tool, come back like an hour later to grind another tool, and it's completely out of, it's like grooves in it, like big old gashes. I'm like, wow, like it's been one day, but it is what it is. Alright, this stuff stinks. I'm going to try not to inhale it, and I'm actually going to work off the cap here. And I'm probably going to put on the eyes. Let's get my eyes on here. Alright, hopefully I can bring you in a little bit before I smack the camera. So there is the gap we're going to fill right there. And we're just going to get some of this on there. And we're going to just brush it into that slot right there. Probably should have used the 500. No, 1,000 might do it. And then I use a surface finisher when I paint it too, so any crazy little divots or anything will get surface finished out. They'll get filled and stuff. And then I'll sand it all back, and then we'll be ready to put the detail on after we get the core built. So there's that. Yeah, so there's that side. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit on this side too. My eyes weren't in the way of that. You know, mother-in-law dying makes you think about death, right? I remember my grandfather died when I was like 14, but man, did he teach me some stuff. Not actual task or like how to do something, but how to learn to do something. How to figure stuff out on your own, how to solve your own problems. If it's not right, fix it. And, you know, I think it's just that work ethic, you know, that he taught me. It was more meaningful in my early years than not having them in my later years, I guess. But, yeah. But as I get older, I notice I was a lot like him, because nobody does it right but me. That's not true, but that's my mentality. If I have a task to do or something that needs to be done, and I'm gonna do it my way, I need to do it myself. I have a very hard time explaining myself to people, like, okay, this is exactly what you need to do step by step, and I will leave out like 10 or 15 steps that are nature to me, that are just like, oh yeah, that's just a given, you do that. That's not, you don't have to, you shouldn't have to tell people, if you're swapping out a part, you shouldn't have to tell them, make sure you unplug it first, that's not the directions I'm going to give people. Unplug it, take out screw A, take out screw B. No, get to the part and then replace the part. That's about all I can give you. I can do it, but giving you a perfect rundown walkthrough of how to do it is not what I'm best at, but I do manage to get it done when I'm on my own, though. I tell you what's interesting, and I just see it right here. I had it out earlier. This little guy right here, this little bad boy is fantastic. It's got a thicker blade than a regular X-Acto knife, I believe, but it's super durable. Let's see what this blade is. 0.63 millimeter, and if I take my regular X-Acto, it's 0.54, so it's a tenth of a millimeter bigger, thicker. So that tenth of a millimeter gives you some stability, and it's just the small handle. It just makes it real easy to work with, and it's a nice little blade. I believe these are from Micro Mart. I don't know. They randomly send me a catalog and offering to send me stuff if I buy a bunch of stuff. So. That's not how I roll. So, then I have bought a bunch of their stuff, and then it's after I buy stuff, they want to buy more stuff, and we'll, help you out a little bit with some test demos and stuff. And I'm like, your products aren't that great for me to buy a bunch of stuff I'm not going to use just to demo some stuff I might want to use. Like I was going to get a, I'm not going to know the name of this. I know the name of it, and I'm going to not get the proper technical name for it, but it's a X-Acto blade that it like vibrates, ultrasonic kind of X-Acto blade holder, and it just you can cut through thick plastic, and it just kind of like chews through stuff. Oh man, that's going to bug me. Leave it in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about. It's really going to bother me. Not a hot knife. Anyways, I don't know. But it's like a little desktop thing, and it's got a cord coming out of it that has a handle that holds an X-Acto knife, and you can set it, and it sends vibrations or ultrasonic through the blade of the knife, so you can cut through really thick things and work faster and things like that. They offered to send me one if I bought a bunch of their products, and I'm like, no, that's okay. I mean, and just buy one, but it's not that fascinating to me. I mean, it's useful, but just throw it on a table saw now. Proxon hooked it up, so let's put those away. Alright, let's see what else we're going to do here. So that's both wings drying here. Now let's get out these landing feet that I need to make the struts for. So this is what I got so far. So I glued a piece of, so here's the original piece right here. This is from Warhammer 40K. You can see both sides of it there. So what I did was I sanded off the high spots, and I glued a piece of 010 styrene on it, and it worked for the most part, but you can see the detail popping through, and I think that's all going to show when I paint it, and I don't think the filler is going to do it. So this was a test run. I think I want them to sit like this. I was going to have them sit like this, so they're kind of like skis, but then I thought that that's probably not best. probably like this, and then we'll take out this center support here, maybe leave some of this detail in along the sides or whatnot, and if not, I'll just take it all off and cover it with plastic, and then we'll add our own detail. So I'm going to do this in a couple of steps here. First, I'm going to get the Proxxon sander. Oh, is it plugged in now? Okay. I'm going to get this set up, and I'm going to bring you over to the other view. So this is the Proxxon disc sander. It's another fantastic tool of theirs. I've actually had this for many years. It is a 12.5 millimeter or 12.5 centimeter sanding disc, and it is a fantastic sander. Let's give it a little turn here and see if we can zoom you in here. Nope, wrong way. Alright, and let's see if we can do that and see if this works. So let's grab our piece here, turn this on, get our safety goggles. Alright. Okay. So I'm going to this is just going to take off the raised detail on it, so I can add the styrene to it. Alright, get this side here. So that's one. Let's do just the one because we're going to fill this one. So let's pop back over to the bench. And we are back at the bench here. So we got this cleaned off here with the sander. I believe that's 240 grit, maybe 320. I don't know. It's been on there forever. I can't remember. So I just need to knock off the high spots of this. We're going to use this file. Got a little thinner on this side than I would have liked. Probably would have been best to remove it by hand like I did the last one. Actually just had an idea occur to me that we're going to try real quick here. Let's get this cleaned off with alcohol can wipe. Alright, now I'm going to fill this with, use the thinner stuff I doctored up the other day. So, and that's going to beep into it. Go. Stuff really has to be shaken. So as we're shaking, remember, join the Discord, link in the description below. You can also become a member to the channel. I should be doing member stuff soon. I did it in the past, but again, with the incidents I've had in the, well, it's just going to drip everywhere, aren't you? Alright. Let's get this filled up here. Man, this stuff is just dripping everywhere. Alright. A little dip right there. Alright, so there we go. So that is all filled up. Let's put that to dry. And we'll come back to that. Maybe I will come back to it. Maybe it'll come back to it in a future video. Man, I really gotta start doing that on a piece of polypropylene. Yeah, I'm ruining the Proxon sticker. Make me sad. Okay, anyways, back to business. Let's try something here. Let's grab this. This is a mold that I made of this right here. I put it in there like that, and I made that mold, but I want to try something here. I want to try me something here. Let's find some 20 card. Maybe scrap 20 in here or something. What is this? This might actually work. What is this? It's by 40. This is 1 mil. Well, let's try 1 mil. We got a piece of 1 mil here. So 1 mil. We get out the appropriate clamps. What I'm about to do. I have them ready. Actually, I have one more of those. You know, my son built a fort with my clamps. I don't think I brought them all back. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, but we got these two. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, let's see here, let's grab a pencil here and let's cut this to right about there. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to come to the edge of my bench here, square that up, and I'm going to cut that. Sorry you can't see it. I'm just scoring it, and I'm going to snap it. Just like that. Alright. Oh! back away. Put our sanders in the sanding dish. Throw all this away. Alright, now we got our, this is made for a vise, but we're going to try this anyways. So we got a piece of styrene here, and we are going to heat it up. So that is that way, which is this way. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work, guys. I don't know. Never done this before. I know you can vacuum form styrene. Might be something I have to look into here. Knock that coffee over and cry. Alright. I just want to know, for example, this is a 2-part epoxy mold made from epoxy sculpt, so I don't even know if it's going to give me a good finish or whatnot. Have a whirl here. Okay, so it put the shape in there a little bit. Alright, let's bump up the heat to 200. 175. Like I said, I have no idea if this is going to work, but the idea just came to me. This works. I'll warm the piece up in the toaster oven, get it soft, and then do it. Yeah, we might be doing something interesting in the next video. The idea is just keep popping. Alright, that should be good. Let's... didn't stick. Alright, so that's, but it did give me part of the shape that I'm looking for, but it didn't heat up everything. It didn't heat up this back corner here. So, yeah. Let's keep going here. Better fixture would have been good too, so. Like 175 is the golden zone here. Okay, so that's more of a definition. I'm actually getting the deformation in the block here, so I would need a better block. This has opened me up to a multitude of ideas of things I can do. That hurt. So, yeah, so I can press this stuff into a shape. If I had a better system to do it, like a positive and a negative, I could stamp that in there like that, clamp it together, and cut this shape out. I mean, I need to have a better blank, because I am getting some deformations from the epoxy sculpt. But that's not something we can get out of there. You know, a little bit of sanding, but it is a rough shape. I need another side. I need the other side of this. Then I need some pins to align it so it doesn't get all swishy swashy side to side. Or I just had this idea. Does everybody remember this? The bending jig. Well, in theory, I can make a box for this with some wood, seal it out with some caulk, hook a vacuum tube up to it, and then take a sheet and take a plug, you know, of the shape I want, make it out of wax or something. I have a high temperature wax that would melt at a higher temperature than this would be soft at, and then suction it down, make a little frame, suction it down. It's not a bad idea, because I was going to make one out of just some regular wood, but this already has all the holes in it, and it's metal. Let's see here. I wonder if stuff my wife got me from the dollar store could work for that. That in there like that. And this would raise it up as a bending jig too, if I did this. So wouldn't have a bottom on it though, because these aren't the right size for the bottom. Would this work? Oh, look at that. That is like a perfection fit. There's another piece of wood from the dollar store for the bottom. Interesting. Interesting here. So I'll make a box. This goes in. I can put a piece that this rests on. So that piece would be. So I'd have to cut some strips here. I don't know if I have enough. I don't know if I have enough of these. I have 6 of these, so I have the 4 sides, but I need some strips off of one that are this long, so roughly 12.5 centimeters this way, and 12.5 or 10 centimeters this way. I can rip one of these down to about, a centimeter, and then I can glue that along the edge, and this will just sit down in there, and I can seal it with some caulking. And all I gotta do is seal this to the base, drill a hole in it. Need a way to close off some of this table. This is a little big for small pieces, so let's see here. I also have to make the frame for the plastic. I don't have any metal, and I hate working with metal. So I like the fact that on the fixtures I can put pins in them, and I can just drill a hole for the pins that are for this and just stick it down. But the issue is I don't want to waste a bunch of plastic that is around this edge, so I would need to close this up. If I take like some of this and I make that's what I'll do. I'll make some frames that are different sizes. So I can make a frame that sits on top of this that shows this much, that only shows like this many holes, and have a tiny frame that goes on a thing. Or I can make the frame bigger and show more holes. I like that idea. So that's definitely a project that we are going to look into doing, because that was actually quite easy with the hot air gun, just to heat it up, and then if we can just stick it down onto a form, that's the word I was looking for earlier, a form, and then join the Discord, leave me comments. Got a better idea, leave it in the comments below. I'm not going to work on it for a couple days until after this video is posted, but if you guys have a better alternative than taking a wood box and drilling a bunch of holes in it, let me know. These holes might be a little big too, so I don't know. I'm going to think about it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And Proxxon Tools links in the description below, Discord in the description below. Thank you, and have a fantastic day.